That's an understatement.
And understand.
Girls from high school, girls from school? Okay.
Her other grandson was Jeff.
So,
Jeff.
as Linda says, I went all through school, like from second grade through high school.
Can you hold the mic up a little higher?
Sure.
That's perfect.
And second grade all through high school with Linda. And so we had a class reunion one year, and we always used to have cocktails at Evelyn's house before we would go to the reunion. So this particular one, I stayed later than the other girls. The other girls all left. I stayed and I was talking with Evelyn, and she had told me that she had on her bucket list to go on a African safari, but she had to cancel her trip for one reason or another. And that was also on my bucket list to go on an African safari, but I was unable to go as well. So Evelyn and I and my mother, we all went to Safari West in next best thing to a real African safari. And so we had a gay old time, me and Linda's mother and my mother at the Safari West.
I didn't know that. Oh. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, Liz. Thanks, Liz. Hi. Come on up.
My name is Elizabeth Ross.
You need to take your mask off and hold the mic up.
My name is Elizabeth Monteros. You know, I visit Greenie a lot, but I also came to have dinner a lot of times for lunch with Evelyn Berger. She was a member, I'm a member of Trinity Lutheran Church, and she also is, along with Betty here. And then Jim Peterson, a few of our members had come to live here. But I'm going to tell you, Evelyn she was a character. She was a pusher. She was one of total entertainment and a lot of fun. We had at that time, many, many years ago, a very active women's group, and we would meet all the time and we would organize outings. And one of them that I particularly remember is when she asked her husband if we could have one of our major dance events at the Officers Club. And we were all very thrilled. The answer was yes, so we all dressed up. We went to the Officers Club, and I tell you, we all enjoyed ourselves immensely. She was the queen of the party. Just so entertaining and so witty, and she always had something to say, and people would say back to her, and there wasn't really any, I wouldn't call it insults, but she had a wit about her to be entertaining. And I think we've all enjoyed, I'm sure you've all enjoyed her here. And I know we all enjoyed her when she was able to come to church, because she was active there. She did Sunday school. She was active in the council. She was active with selecting pastors for our church. So she provided a lot of insight into our church at the time she was able to attend. I loved her dearly. I'm really going to miss her. And to me, she was a very wonderful and loving person. And your family is very lucky to have her in your life. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Please.
Good afternoon. I'm Dan Foster, and I was married to Karen, Linda's older sister. My son, DJ, is here with us today. Just a couple of humorous things, though, that happened. I was young, back in the 60s, as we all were. We did a road trip to Lake Tahoe. And Linda and Karen, and this is the first time I had gone on any sort of trip with them. This was in the dating phase of Karen. And on our way home, we went skiing, I guess. We did some stuff there. They had rented a house. But as we were coming home, heading out home, Duke was driving in the car, and Evelyn was in the front seat, and we were all in the back seat. And the window must have been down or something. I don't know. There was laughing going on normally.
I think she went to take a drink. So.
Oh, well, yeah, a drink. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, she went like this with her head. And now I was pretty naive because I didn't know these things existed, to be honest with you. Next thing I knew, there was this ball of hair in my lap. Her wig had fallen off. And I didn't realize then what I was looking at because it certainly didn't look like hair to me. And so that was a eye-opener for a young man, and the road trip was very memorable after that. Many memories over the years, as you can imagine. There's lovely house in Alameda, people getting stuck in the mud out in the bay, and you know, it didn't happen to me, but other people did. But a lot of great memories. It seemed like they were always raising ducks in the backyard, that they would nest in the bushes there, and so and their little dog, the Sheltie dog, and they had a house. What, cleaning lady? I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, this lady, we had never had any housekeepers, but maybe it was more familiar with the military community, and so. But this lady I'll never forget because she was Jimmy Lee. Jimmy Lee. And she was from the South, I believe. She had a draw and very nice, but I think she had quite an influence on you girls. Yeah, as a very, almost like a nanny, I think, in some time. I don't know, but there was many times, but nevertheless, there was certainly, and Duke always gave me a lot of respect. I respect him. He was a fighter pilot in the World War II and after, so was my dad, and so on. So we had a lot of connects that way. So, but anyway, I'm pleased to be here today, and Linda, thank you for putting this little get-together together. I know you're all the way from Canada, where you live now. Hopefully we'll see you in the future, maybe in Fernie, strapping on those skis and giving them a go.
And doing weddings.
Pardon me?
And doing weddings.
Doing weddings.
Weddings,
yeah.
yes.
Anybody want to get married? I'm a nerd.
There's a problem. I need somebody first.
I know.
Me too.
Yes.
Oh, are you going to do a poem?
It's done.
She does wonderful poetry.
Hi, my name is Judith Glass. I live here at Cardinal Point, so of course I meet Evelyn. And I wrote her a poem, but it was during COVID, and so it was just our little group that heard this, but I think you guys will get a big kick out of this. It's strictly for Cardinal Point persons, I guess. Anyway, happy birthday to Ed. So this was 2 years ago in November, so that was in the height of COVID. You know, who knows, we must have been outside, I don't know. Anyway, happy birthday to Evelyn. She's everybody's fave. A Scorpio, passionate, stubborn, resourceful, and brave. She states her opinions loud and clear, so everybody nearby is able to hear. If Evelyn was ever followed by a stalker, he'd only take the wine bottles stashed in her walker. Her favorite creature is her pet cat Cookie, who's under the bed if you want to take a lookie. She loves to sing, especially any old song. She sings all the words, even if some of them are wrong. So here's a toast to Evelyn, who's definitely a winner, and maybe someday she'll like the food that's served for dinner.
I'm gonna jump in for a couple little things, and then I'd be happy to I just break it up a little bit. So, some of my memories of my mother were, Mom and Dad were on a fairly frugal type of a budget. They didn't ever buy anything great for themselves, but when it came to their kids, they always just like unsurpassed. So I remember Mom and I went shopping for my prom dress, senior prom dress, which you guys remember is probably black. And it didn't matter, like Mom said, it's okay, you just get that dress. And then she had to come home and tell Dad. But Dad was like, okay, you're my baby, it's okay. So, and Mom always was the first person to go to the football games. You guys remember that. She was always in the rooting section. She would drive us to football games, and she'd always be out there cheering louder than anybody else. And then fast forward after high school, I lived in the front of the house, which had a window that was very easy to be crawled out of. So I would come in and I would make a lot of noise so Mom and Dad thought I was home, and then I would crawl up the front window with some friends of mine, not necessarily like you guys have called that. And I remember one time I did that with one of my friends who can't be here today because she lives in Texas. And we climbed back in about 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mom came in and she said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So I was like, oh my God, she's gonna kill us. And so she interrogated us, and then she walked out in the hallway and she came back in, and she had that look in her face that I know you've all seen. And she said, "Well, did you have a good time?" And when we used to go on holidays, Mom, as you know, liked to sing, so she always made up songs. So I'm not going to bore you with the song that we made up, but yeah, we had really good songs that we made up. And then one more story, and then I'll pass it back to you all. When I had my children, they were young, and so obviously they were young, and Mom and Dad came up. And I was a big runner at that time, and so I was running a race, and my husband was running it with me. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I can leave the kids with Mom and Dad. It's a big handful. Well, we left and we came back, and Mom and Dad both had a drink, and the kids had their faces painted, and everybody was really happy. So it was really good. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Linda. My name is Mary Ann.
You have to hold the mic up.
I think I know some of you. Anyway, I'm a friend of Evelyn's family, and Lynn. Okay, I'm not a singer, but I was out kayaking actually by your house today, and a song popped in my head, but the lyrics are all changed. I know you all know the Sound of Music. So apologies to Rogers and Hammerstein, and apologies if you haven't listened to me, but I'm going to try and talk things. This is my version in honor of Evelyn. How do you solve a problem like Evelyn? I've got a magic. She's great at golf and hits her tee. Her golf talent is rare. She does the Charleston in her prime with so much flair. And underneath her charming smile, she can crack a joke with her. I even heard she brings extra wine to dinner. She's always full of fun and love, even when she can't quite hear. She's always got a kind word for everybody, except maybe the Cardinal Point meal. I love to have to say it, and I very firmly feel Evelyn is an asset without compare. I apologize. I'll make another case on her behalf. Evelyn makes us all laugh.
Yes.
How do you describe a friend like Evelyn? How do you find such a spirit and never hold her down? How do you find a word that means Evie Marie? A woman who loves life, her kids, and KFC. Oh, how do we remember our friend Evelyn? Remember to laugh and smile with the gin. Okay, vodka didn't rhyme with Evelyn. And for those who don't know, Evelyn and I had I wouldn't say lifelong, but I met her over gin versus vodka argument. And Liv's on the gin side.
I'm on the gin side. Yeah. Very good. There was somebody else that, oh, yes.
I just wanted you to sing, we're going to Yosemite.
You really want to hear that?
Oh, no.
Anybody else know that song? Does Dan know that song? No?
Going to
Am I the only one
Yosemite.
that knows this song? Okay.
She sang it for us like 2 weeks ago in the bar.
Really?
I just came out, she did it twice, we demanded she do it twice, and she knew it perfectly.
You should have recorded it.
This song has gone, we actually sang this for the Rangers at Yosemite and they looked at us like crazy. Okay, I can do this. So, and my voice isn't very good, but. We're going to visit Yosemite and hike up all the trails. We're going to visit El Capitan, Half Dome, and Bridal Veil. We're going to visit the gorgeous walls, the gorgeous majestic granite walls, the world famous fire falls that curry in the evening. The bears come into camp at night and scare us out of our wits. We rattle all our pots and pans and hope that they'll have fits. The blue jays and the butterflies, the robin in the trees, the bear and deer for you to see are a part of Yosemite Valley.
You should record that.
I did.
Oh,
I
good.
recorded.
You
I
should
recorded,
record it and
yeah.
write it down for us. Oh, yay! Hi.
Is that,
Ted, you have to take your mask off.
is that a caregiver?
No, that's,
Good afternoon, good evening,
Well, it's
everyone.
it's one of our
Thank you for giving me
caregivers.
the opportunity to speak a little bit about Evelyn Berger. Evelyn, when I first met her here, she's very positive and very happy person all the time, and she's also very gutsy and very happy person.
her name is
all
Pearl.
the time. So
She's one of the
sometimes when I don't
caregivers.
see her, she'll ask me.
She's only working
Make sure
part-time now.
that before I leave Starting Point that she didn't want me to quit the job. And every time she sees me, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Where were you? I was looking for you. So sometimes I see her in the morning or afternoon for lunch, sometimes mostly lunchtime. And then she'll see me the next day. She said, I haven't seen you for a long time. Where were you? So in many ways, I look at her and she had a very positive attitude. She's always happy. And she had a lot of her friends before when she moved here. They play card and there'll be a lot of noises. They'll be drinking. And sometimes they are on the floor and we go and try to pick them up. And nobody will be whining and grounding. They just say, okay, it's okay, we'll get up, no problem. You're sitting on the basket. She'll be like, oh, it's okay, we have a good time. So I will remember her as a very happy person and positive. And she will be a special person in my mind, in my heart that she did forever, especially to the Cannon Point residents. They're very close to her and just like a one part of the family, and you're lucky you have your mom here. Thank you so much for giving me the time to speak a little bit about her. And there are a lot of residents who's been here a long time, and they're part of my home, my family to me for 13 years, and I'm still here, I'm still here. Thank you.
She came the same
You
time.
have a nice journey back to Canada.
She was just training, my mother was here for 14 months. And she came in and she said, what should I do? And we said, we don't know, you're the
What she
caregiver.
didn't realize that what there was a part two to the Yosemite song. So I'm not going to let you get away with everything.
Is there a
Yeah.
risque part?
This is goes something like this, much shorter. In Yosemite, you can fish, you can fish, you can catch a limit, you can catch a limit, ha, 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 ha,
But Linda, didn't you say that your mother went to these places and you all hiked and she sat there?
Oh, yeah. Mom never was one for big physical activities except maybe golf and sex. So, yeah. So we would go to Yosemite, and Mom would, and she didn't like the heat. So she would sit under a tree where there was lots of shade, and we would hike and do all of our things, and then we would come back down, and then we would go whatever after that. But no, she wasn't really big on that kind of stuff. But, yeah, she was always there. So, anybody else? Oh, okay, thank you.
Thanks. Evelyn and I were neighbors when we both had our houses before we sold them and came here. She was around the corner for me, and we never really met, but I knew who she was. So I was in real estate in Alameda, and I sold the house next door to her, which was Brooke Peterson. And Brooke said to me, Renee, Evelyn is going to sell her house, and you should go over and see if you can sell it. I said, okay. Well, she told me that several times, and I don't like to do that. But anyway, I went over and knocked on Evelyn's door. And Evelyn answered the door, and I said, I'm so-and-so, and I hear you're going to sell your house. And could I help you? And she said, no, I have somebody. And slammed the door. So I didn't see her again until I moved here, and we became really great friends. But it was funny in COVID, and I loved hot dogs for lunch, and so did she. So she'd call me up, and she'd say, Rainey, let's get a hot dog and eat it in my room, because we weren't supposed to be going to each other's rooms. And I said, oh, I don't know, Evelyn. She said, oh, yeah, come on, it'll be fun. Let's do that. So I go to her room, and she had her table all set. There were flowers in the center, and she had those little false candles all over. And we had our hot dogs, and we talked, and so we did that every week for a long, long time. And we had a great time. She was wonderful, and I'll miss her.
I didn't realize that. You knew Brooksy Peterson?
Yes.
Oh, what is wrong? Yeah. Who out there wants to say something? Oh, hi, you guys.
Hey,
I
now.
didn't see you out there.
Yep.
My name is Vera, and I know Evelyn, Grandma Evelyn, about since 2011. I am an addition because I have brother of foster family, and I came from Brazil, and I learned a lot with Evelyn. Grandma was so beautiful, and what I learned is she had a great community here. The way I learned with her is being older doesn't mean you have to be sad. She's always happy, and every time I came here, many things are familiar to me. I feel like the joyful. What she had here, I want to have in my life in the future. I'm not sad for being old. I am happy thinking of her, but it's really, really hard for me to talk about Grandma. Because, she is part of my family, something I didn't have in Brazil anymore. I found here, I met her here, and, that's really, really hard to talk about Grandma. I really miss her. And I am thankful to the universe to put a person like Grandma in my life. Even though for a short time, she was very, very important to me. And thanks for the Foster family to give me the opportunity to be in her life. Thank you.
Dan, you ready?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
He's waiting to be as old as Evelyn.
I will read you Roberta. Oh, great. Okay, so I'll segue. So you all know about Cookie. Most everyone knows about Cookie. So Cookie came into Mom's life via her good friend Pat. And after Cookie came into Mom's life, nothing was ever quite the same because everything was about Cookie. Mom, you can't leave cat food on the bed for Cookie. Oh, yes, I can, because that's where she has her treats. Mom, you can't leave cat food on the floor. Oh, yes, that's the only way she'll eat it. So anyway, so it went. So when Mom and Roberta had a pact of sorts that if anything ever happened to Mom, Roberta would adopt Cookie. So she did, which was absolutely lovely. And Roberta's not here today because she's out hiking and doing something lovely and wonderful like she usually does. But she did send this to me, so I wanted to read it. Knowing your mother has meant so much to me. She was the first person to invite me to dinner. I don't think that's probably uncommon with that. When I moved in November 2018, we became close friends during shelter in place. We often had lunch together. I would bring my lunch to her apartment or out to the third floor deck overlooking the estuary. I always enjoyed hearing about her family. The Zoom photos meant so much during the long time that she could not be with you. I will always remember her kindness and happy spirit. She was like a light in our residence, welcoming, kind, and so funny. Cookie is putting up with me pretty well now. She now enjoys eating again. However, she does not like sharing a twin bed, so she sleeps in my closet. I will always remember Evelyn and hope that you have all the support you need during this time. Okay. That? I'm sure you, oh, okay, I'm gonna embarrass you. You can sit there, you don't have to get up. It's a quarter spine.
Pat. Evelyn and I shared 45 good, wonderful years together.
Put the mic up higher, Pat.
This way?
Yeah.
And we went on cruises, we played golf, we ate dinners, we just looked at each other. But it was just one of the finest relationships with Evelyn. He never got mad. Evelyn never did get mad.
Only at me.
And the dining room.
Cherish the days, the moments that I shared with Evelyn. And she's going to leave a big hole in my heart.
Hole in all of our hearts. Anybody else? I'm sure there's some. Diane, you want to say something about Mom?